On today's episode of That Mental Ginger Show, we are talking to singer-songwriter Danny Gravel. Well, folks, my connections with Canada are bearing great fruit. No, not grapefruit, great fruit. Because we've got more musicians, we're getting lots of great talent, and they're going to be performing again at the end of the episode. I'm really excited about it, and you should be too, because the song is absolutely banging.
All right, troops.
Danny, my friend, a pleasure to have you on the podcast. How are you doing?
Excellent. How are you doing, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was out doing a bit of filming today. Gingers and Sun. It doesn't go very well.
No, it doesn't.
I got.
I said I don't have that problem. I'm part native, so I'm very olive skinned already. So
Yeah, I'm part albino.
Yeah, I know.
Basically. But at least I remembered the hat this time, so the head didn't get sunburned. I remembered my hat, so that's the main thing. The face I can cope with. I can cope with like getting sunburnt on my face and my neck because I'm always used to it. But the top of the head, I'd never been burnt on the top of my head before. When I went on holiday, you could have fried a steak on it, man. It was unreal.
Yeah, my wife is very, very white, and she burns pretty badly too. So
yeah, does she tan or does she just go straight back to white?
She does go tan. Yeah, you go right white, you burn, peel, and then done white.
Sometimes we don't even get the peel. And sometimes that's the most satisfying part because you feel like it's finally coming off. You feel a bit like a snake when you're doing it. You're like, "Yep, I'm shedding my skin from this old life."
It's a Celt trait.
Definitely, man. But
my mother's from Ireland. She's ginger as well. So.
Yeah, whereabouts in Ireland does she hail from?
I can't remember. It was part of the northern town. I can't remember the name of it. I wish I could right now. I was just talking about it not too long ago, and I forget right now. But
man,
I have the red in my beard from my mother, right? So there is some ginger, but as you had mentioned in one of your interviews about how that ginger breed is being bred out.
We are indeed, but we will keep fighting till the bitter sunburn end.
Well, and you guys are tough.
Yeah. Well, we had to be, especially in my case when I got the shit kicked out of me like bi-daily.
No, that's good.
Yeah, but there's the proof, my friends. People do watch this. It's not all just robots. It's not just people from Vietnam, and we've got some Canadians on here. I'm proud of it.
Nice.
I keep saying to Alison that I want to retire there and try and get over there because I've got family in Canada as well.
Oh yeah.
They moved out like in the 70s and stuff, and my wife's like, "Well, if I don't want to go to Canada," I'm like, "You stay here with the kids, then. Bye." Anyway, enough about me and my madness. We're here to talk about you and your madness, or your origin story, as I like to call it, because the one thing we all have in common is that we all have an origins. So, Danny, for my faithful followers, tell us your origin story.
All right. Danny Gravel, by my birth name. Everybody calls me Danny Gravel. And I was born here in Oshawa, where I reside now. When I was 4, we moved to Alberta and lived right on the edge of Calgary until I was 10. My father was working up in the oil patch.
Wow.
And then once they separated, we came back to Ontario and lived here back in Oshawa with my grandparents. And I stayed in Oshawa till I was 15. I moved to Quebec for a year. I moved out of my house and moved to Quebec, lived with an aunt. And then I came back to Ontario and got my own place and really started working on me and my music at that time, So, and I'd finished high school. I did graduate, so I was really happy about that, even though I wasn't living at home for the most part of my high school days. I still managed to get through. And one of the reasons why I love school so much is because I could perform there all the time, and I had lots of great bands at school. So I really love being,
There's nothing like the high school bands, especially the names that come out of the high school bands. What was some of the names from it?
From
your high school band days. Do you remember what the names of the bands were? Because I'll give you an example. One that we had was the Psychotic.
I was in a heavy metal band in high school, and we were called Death Under Carnal Knowledge. Death found under carnal knowledge. So you can put it together, right? Death.
That's
Found
amazing.
and we
That's
played a lot of
fantastic.
Slayer and Metallica and all the old heavy stuff, right? So
Nice, definitely. What it was just one of the examples that we had, like one of the bands in my high school, and they were called the Psychotic Pandas.
that's great.
Well, I still love that name. I still love it. They changed their name afterwards after they got because they done quite a bit for themselves over in America and stuff. But yeah, I always would remind them of the Psychotic Pandas.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
that's
such like
great.
it's such a great name. So
It's excellent.
where did you go after high school? Like, did you just go? Did you go to college, or did you go just straight into the scene? Tell me.
I was apprenticing for diesel mechanics when I was
Wow.
finishing school,
Yeah.
and that fell through because there was no work eventually, and then I ended up becoming a stonemason for
Wow.
um, for quite a few years, and I also
Yeah.
put a few years in the oil patch as well because my father was out there. It was easy for
Yeah.
me to get a job,
What's
and
it like out in the oil patch?
it's I enjoyed it. There was lots of fun that I had there, but it was away from my family, which was very difficult at times.
Mm.
And there was lots of dangers involved. I'd seen, a couple of deaths right in front of me while I was working, which was really horrific.
Wow.
So you're always kind of nervous, and you're always missing your family, but you try to have fun with your new friends. It's just that
Mm.
environment.
How,
You're there
how long
for
were you
one.
normally away for?
I think my longest stretch, I worked for 53 days straight, but I didn't go home for about a year and a half.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
that's insane. Well,
Yeah.
so where is it that you stay? Do they have like accommodation? Do you stay on the patch? Like
Yeah.
just as something I've never really known about.
Well, each job that I worked at had a camp on site. So we stayed in camp. I had my own room, and
Wow.
they had a dining room there for
Mm.
buffet style foods. You can eat as much as you like. It was really, really accommodating. I'll say that.
Hmm.
It didn't cost you anything to stay. The company looked after that bill, which was called basically your LOA, which is living out allowance. But
Right.
if they just give it directly to the camp instead of to myself, right? So
Hmm.
it was quite accommodating. There was
Yeah.
certainly no problem with eating. I always gained weight when I was out there.
So did you find you had to go on a diet when you came back?
All the time. I'd go back to doing stonework and lose it again, right?
That's a good cycle, like a 6 month on, 6 month off kind of deal. There we go. What with
Yeah,
the weight?
most part it was the winters off, right? So I'd gain the
Mm.
weight here when I didn't go out there and I have to take it off in the spring.
It's like the reverse hibernation.
Yeah. Oh, and most landscapers are outdoor tradesmen that I know here in Canada.
Mm.
They're all the same. They all gain their weight in the winter and lose it first thing in the spring, right?
Yeah, definitely. So how long were you on the oil patches for?
I put about I was there for maybe 3 years in total.
Wow.
Over 5 times I went.
Mm. So
Yeah.
what made you decide to what they call it a day?
I actually got hurt and
Mm.
I dove into a swimming pool when I was younger and I broke my neck. And then when
Wow.
I was in 2014, several years later, I whatever was going on with the damage in my neck was causing me not to be able to walk properly anymore, and I lost
Wow.
a lot of muscle and I gained a lot of nerve damage. So I ended up having to have spine surgery, and then right after my spine surgery, I was actually able to walk again, and
Wow.
that's when I really started looking at what I can do for a living, and it certainly wasn't
Yeah.
stone scenario anymore, So
Yeah. It really
so
does
I
take something like that, like some sort of like really kind of life changing experience to shake you out of that. I mean, I've at the time of this recording, I have just left my job in the financial sector, and I was there for 5 years. And it was when COVID and all. Well, you've seen the shows, you know what kind of my backstory with it. What the COVID and my aunt passing away, and that just was like, there's got to be more to my life than this. What and now here I am. What so
yeah.
it's quite interesting like how that kind of happens. So that was the kind of turning point for you, in essence. What?
It was one of the turning points anyway. It still
Mm.
dragged on for quite a while because I went back to Stone 4 months after my surgery, and I really caused a lot of pain doing that.
Mm.
So, and I was also struggling with addiction at the time, And so when I had a collapse, when it all caught up to me, I decided that I need to go to rehab and change my life. And that's when I went to an amazing place called the Renaissance House here in Brooklyn, Ontario, and it really saved my life. And I really believe that to the core, that they saved my life because I was such a mess. After my surgery, I started feeling useless. I didn't like myself anymore. It was really a struggle, you know. So when I went there and I got some great counseling, and I did the 10-step program with AA, it was really an amazing experience, and it was a life-changing experience. And then it was really funny is after I cleaned my life up and I got myself going with my music and focusing on a new career, and I started this company that I'm running now. My wife and son were in a bad accident 3 years ago, and that was even a bigger life-changing experience.
Yeah, definitely.
And my wife was extremely hurt, and she probably never can go back to work again because of the damage. But she's walking again, which is amazing, and my son is doing well. So it was quite the experience. So all that going on, we have landed in this place that is unexpected. I have this company that's growing super fast with my entertainment, and my wife is home all day with my son and the house, and she's happy. We'll just become a really happy unit here through all that. You know, it's funny how things work. You know, it's the spirit guides you in many ways. You know?
Definitely. Well, it always seems to it's like the Jeff Goldblum thing in Jurassic Park. The life finds a way.
It
Well,
certainly
as they
does.
say. Well, so tell us about your company. Like this is the platform to sell it. So sell it. Tell us everything about it.
All right. So I started this. I attempted to start this company a year before COVID, and that didn't pan out because of COVID for obvious reasons. So I started it right back this April past, and by June I was booked solid, and I had created a show called the Solo Artist Festival. So what the Solo Artist Festival is I showcase 6 musicians, solo musicians. I prefer to have songwriters, but you know I give everybody a chance.
Yeah.
So I'll play the first 3, the first half of the evening. I'll have a comedian in the middle for a comedy break, and then I play 3 more musicians. And then at the back corner of the bar, I will have an artist, and she has her stuff set up. And she sketches for $15 a sketch. It takes her 10 minutes. She's really brilliant. And then we sell tickets and draw the ticket for one of her amazing paintings at the end of the evening. And it's really turning out to be an amazing show. Like my next Solo Artist Festival will be August 20th. And I am expecting a full house. Like they just seem to be getting bigger and bigger here. So it's very, very exciting for all of us. So the company that started was called Chain Masons Productions. Solo Artist Festival is right at this moment the main event for Chain Masons Productions, but we also have several ideas that we're going to start for other shows, including bands, more comedians. We got lots coming up, lots of ideas. I have some great people working with me now, and I just picked up a manager, Christine Patterson. She's really doing an amazing job for me. And artists that I have working for me, Rebecca, her husband Mike is this brilliant IT guy.
Hey.
We had some difficulties connecting here because I the internet. If he was here, there'd been no problem, right? He's up in Ottawa. He's been amazing. He just built our website called chainmasons.com. Check it out. You guys will love it. It's very professional. I have a Facebook page, Dan Gravel. Connected to Dan Gravel Facebook page is the Solo Artist Festival group. And connected to those two is Chain Masons Music Facebook page. And you'll get all the information you need about what we're doing between those 4 locations. And if you guys are anybody listening interested in coming out, August 20th at the Simcoe Blues and Jazz here in Oshawa, we have a Solo Artist Festival. If any musicians out there are interested in coming out and performing for us, let me know through my Facebook or through my email on my website, and we will get back to you ASAP and hopefully get you signed on for one of our shows.
Brilliant, man. Absolutely fantastic. This is what I love. I love to see people that are pursuing their passion, making a go of it, and putting the hard work in it, and it's paying off for them. It really just like it warms my heart so much to see it. And hopefully you get some. Well, it just keeps going for you. Well, Canada's quickly becoming my second highest viewed country. Well, I'm not even highest viewed in my. I'm not even the top 10 in my own country. It's
Uh-huh.
like surprisingly number one is Russia. I think they're that deprived of Western content. They're like, here's a ginger guy. Don't.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Interesting.
and then it's Canada, and then Vietnam, then the US. Well, and then you've got ones like Estonia and stuff. And I'm like, wow, where is the UK? So it's quite
Uh-huh.
interesting. So hopefully you'll get a bit more traction coming. And I did a lot of kind of, it's basically stalking, but we call it market research these days.
Yeah.
So I checked out your website. It is very professional. I was really impressed by it because I'm hopefully going to get my own website built up from a media company. So I will be looking at ideas and how to do it as well. And yeah, I was impressed with some of the stuff that you've got coming up. And I'm in the solo festival group. Seeing some of the videos that you guys are doing, it's really cool. Well, it just looks so chill. It looks just like it's such a nice, calming atmosphere.
Yeah. It's really about creating a positive environment for local art. Like
Mm,
I don't listen to much of the radio. I'm not into the mainstream music at all. I
me
like the
neither.
older 70s stuff and some 80s stuff, but other than that, I really just stick to what we do locally. And you know what? I think, in my opinion, you always find the best music locally anyway. So it's really
Definitely.
my pleasure to work with songwriters that are from the local area and being able to help them get their songs out, as well as it helps me get my songs out, plus my show's growing with them. Right now, we just picked up my 24th musician that wants to perform in my show. I'm looking at a second comedian right now. Right now, we have a Logan Brown. He's out of the Ottawa area. He's with
Mm,
Yuck Yucks. He
ah,
is funny. He's been in competitions and done really well up in Ottawa. So we're really
mhm,
excited to have him come down. It's the first time we've showcased a comedian in our show, August 20th. So we're
mm.
really expecting some big results from that. And
Nice.
um, and we also have Rebecca, who I said was our artist. She has connections to lots of artists too. So we're really hoping to
Mm.
work with all the different acts and see where this can go. Maybe one day we can actually create a festival style tour across Canada and showcase local artists in every district across our country.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a good plan. And if you ever if they ever want to come on like some Mental Gingers podcast for a wee bit of exposure, I'm right here. I'm always, when you've seen it yourself, I don't BS when I say I want to help people. I genuinely I think because you'll probably be able to understand it yourself when you're younger. You felt like maybe nobody gave you that helping hand
Yeah.
to come up. That you feel like
Mhm.
it's your duty to remind people there are still people that will help you up when you need it and try and be there. And that is the goal. That's why I do it. To help people no matter what. And if I can, then I will.
Yeah. I'll respond on that twice. I sent you a message saying I consider us in this together now. And I
Hmm.
meant every word of it. And I will suggest musicians to be interviewed all the time for you. If I can send you as many as I can, I will.
Don't
And
worry.
when I started doing the music, I was always looking for a gig. I was just a kid with an acoustic guitar, trying to get a
Mm,
gig. So there
mm,
was a couple guys that would let me ride their coattails a little bit. And
hmm.
eventually, um, I think I was 22 years old when I landed my actual own gig, and it was at a place called GQ's. And
Yeah.
I did a couple shows there, and it was it was an all right turnout. But then I'm thinking, there's a guy just down the road doing an open jam night. So
Mm,
maybe let's try one of them. So I tried it. The place was packed.
mm,
Then I moved on and I
mm.
did one at a place called The Kilt for an amazing club owner named James O'Toole. He's the best man I've ever worked for. He always treated me fair, and that's rare in the
Mm.
business, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so
I
it's something we're trying to change. We definitely need to try and change it.
Absolutely. So I did an open jam there at the Kilt, and it was a smashing success. And that through those experiences, and I've done many open jams over the years since, and across the country as well. You want to have people come out, um, involve multiple artists in one event, and it
Mm,
always works out. If you
yeah.
get even four artists and they all bring out five people, you've got yourself a party. You got
Oh
yourself
yeah.
an audience, and that's what it's really all about. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
play for an bar, and there's nothing
Yeah.
worse than that. I can only play so many times locally before it starts to dry up, right?
Yeah.
So it dries up with multiple artists, and you
Mm-hmm.
change those artists every show, so it's interesting. You're getting different crowds coming in. It's really really a successful tactic, and I'm really glad that I discovered it.
Yeah.
Discovered it from my own show, right? So
No, definitely. Like you're creating your own success, man. And well, in fairness, obviously for anybody that was watching, we were speaking before we came on, and you've had quite a bit of success music wise. Was it 400 odd songs you said that you'd done or created?
I'm just over 450 songs I've written,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling you earlier, I recorded a song with a girl named Sarah Silver. She's a brilliant singer, and I submitted the song called "Bitter and Cold"
Mm.
to the Indie Country Countdown across Canada with Walter James Scott, and we actually took sixth place across the country, which is really exciting, right? So I got a
Mm.
little bit of publicity with that, which was really exciting. So we're
Yeah.
looking to again,
Mm.
and I just connected with Walter James Scott again, so we're going to get on board to sending him some material and see if we can do that again. Maybe get the first place next time, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, I think you can definitely earn that first place. That's what you go for. You either go big or you go home, and that's what I always like about it. Like this type of business, anything can happen. And sometimes it's in a place that you don't even realize. Like when I rebranded this, I thought, oh, maybe I'll just get a couple of like listeners, because it's a couple better than none. And then then now at time of recording, 6,000 subs. I'm like, how the heck did that happen?
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
is always unexpected. You just don't see it coming until it's there.
Yep. Well, and
And
something
so
that you'd also mentioned as well, just casually sidestepping from the music, that you're a Star Wars fan.
oh, am I ever a Star Wars fan? We are Star
Massive,
Wars junkies in the house, man.
yeah, massive respect for the Star Wars. Like, I'm one of the rare ones that like Star Trek and Star Wars, and they're like, "You're an abomination." And I'm like, "No, I just love both. You can do that."
I grew up watching Star Trek as well. I'd come home every day and
Mm.
Trek. I love them too.
Oh, definitely, man. Right. So, have you seen all the Star Trek movies? I take it.
The new ones, I love them.
Mm.
I was
Uh,
just sad to hear that they weren't doing anymore. They were actually going in to do a fourth one, and they had mixed up
mhm.
who to do the filming and directing, and then it just became chaotic, and they dropped it.
Yeah, development hell is a real thing. Like it is a curse on that type of industry. I understand it all too well. But
Yeah.
did you watch like the original movies, so like with William Shatner and then the ones with Patrick Stewart?
Oh yeah, I've watched
Right.
everyone. Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
your favorite?
Yeah, I will go with the original every time.
Mm,
That was brilliant. That was really brilliant.
mm. Well,
But
my
even with um, the later ones, I really enjoyed all of them. The Voyage
mm,
Back Home, that was just as amazing as what was the one before that? That was when they went into the
yeah,
abyss.
yeah. There was
That
so there was the motion picture, then there was Wrath
yeah
of Khan.
yeah.
Well,
Oh, Wrath of Khan is amazing, right?
absolutely beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, they've been middle aged for 50 years. It's crazy.
Uh,
Well,
so you know your movies, so you know them all off by hand.
yep, inside
Let's
out,
hear
up
them.
and down.
Let's
What?
hear them.
What? So we got motion picture,
Yeah.
Wrath of Khan,
Okay.
Search for Spock,
Yeah.
Voyage Home,
Yeah.
The Final Frontier,
Okay. Yeah.
The Undiscovered Country,
Oh yeah.
Generations,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
First Contact,
Yeah.
Insurrection,
Wow.
Nemesis.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the Prime timeline. Then you get the Kelvin timeline, which is your new ones. And that is just Star Trek Into Darkness, and then Star Trek Beyond.
Star Trek. Yeah. You know your Star Trek.
Massive fan. It's the same like watched the original series, Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, even watched Enterprise. Well, I was that committed.
uh, I guess
Loved it.
they got some other ideas for new series coming out as well.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. They've got
yeah.
other series coming out. mixed kind of reviews. Like, well, I'm trying to just kind of roll with it as I see it. But the one that I really like, and it's not like specifically Star Trek, it's the Orville. It's done by the guy from Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that feels like classic Star Trek to me. Well, it's so you can tell he's a massive Star Trek fan. He loves Star Trek, and you can tell it through it. It's a labor of love. Like it starts off like with some like they wanted to lean more into the humor, as in like like the execs wanted that, and he was like, "Okay, I'll do it for a couple just to pacify them, and then I want to do the stories," and it's just gotten so much better since then. So much better. Well, I'm a massive fan of it. More Star Trek fans are watching the Orville than the Star Trek content that's out right now. Well, because it reminds them of that, and it's just it's brilliant. So, your favorite Star Wars movie?
I would probably have to say it's been since I seen it the first time in the theater, which was Empire Strikes Back. I just can't get enough of it.
Oh, you got to see it in the theater. Man.
Oh yeah.
What was that? What was that pop like when it was the spoiler alert of the infamous reveal? What was it like? Did everybody like actually erupted? Like, what is going on here?
I just remember. I'll tell you this. I seen it. I think it was like 17 times in the theater, and every time to me was super exciting, and I was oblivious to anybody around me.
That's amazing. But 17 times. That's wow. I've went to see it one film but 3 times, and that was Deadpool because I'm a massive Deadpool fan.
Oh yeah, nice.
The second I saw that, I was like, yeah. And I normally do like if I go see a movie, I see it twice, but in the cinema. But one of my mates hadn't seen it, and I was like, it's Deadpool. I've just got to go again.
Yeah,
it was brilliant.
That's a movie worth watching again for sure.
Yeah, you into the superhero genre?
What's that?
You into the superhero genre, like Marvel, DC, all that kind of stuff?
I have a 12-year-old son who's a brilliant violin player, I'll say, and he also performs for the Solo Artist Festival. If but anybody comes to my my Facebook page and they see the Solo Artist Festival ad, they'll see his picture up there. His name's Keith Gravel. He's been playing violin since he was 4. He's 12 now, and he is brilliant, and he's a great performer. He loves the superhero movies. So I really like Doctor Strange. The original was brilliant. If there's a superhero movie I like, that is the one. But I really like the original Iron Man.
Yeah.
Rest of them, they're fun to watch. Lots of action. It's bright color. But other than that, it seems like I've watched that movie over and over and over again after you've watched half a dozen of them, right?
Yeah. Well, it does get kind of
particular ones are really good movies.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll round off by asking you the question that I ask all my guests.
All right.
If you could give one piece of advice to anybody struggling with mental health at this point in time, what would that piece of advice be and why?
Oh, well, there's always help out there. There's lots of groups and meetings and medical assistance. There's lots of help out there. If you are struggling that bad, you need to go and get help, because doing it alone is very, very difficult. If you are struggling with addiction, with that mental illness, you need to get cleaned up immediately. And that would be any local rehabilitation center that you can find. And when I went to rehab, it really changed my life beyond what I can ever try to thank them for. It was amazing. And I'm very grateful for them. So you want to change, you want to stop the suffering, we all have to take responsibility. And if you don't take responsibility for yourself, you're going to suffer for a long time. And when I woke up to that, the light at the end of the tunnel finally appeared, and now I'm here, I'm in the light. I feel great. I have a loving family, and we're happy, and I'm happy about myself, so it's a long road to get there. But you know what, if you work towards it and you take responsibility for yourself, you will be able to achieve happiness in your life.
Definitely, man. Well, Danny, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you, man. Well, it's
my pleasure, my friend.
Yeah. Well, and for anybody that is watching, well, we do have a special treat at the end of the episode. Danny is going to perform one of his songs for us. Well, so tell us a bit about the song before we round off and jump into your amazing set.
Okay, so I wrote this song in 2013. It's the title track to an album I want to put together here right now. I had a friend of mine, Shane Stone, help me with some of the music to it. And so we put it together. I made a couple changes to what he did just by speeding it up a bit, and I added the extra A chord to it. And that's voila, what came out was that. So we're really happy about it. I love playing it. So let me do that for you.
Yeah. Well, we shall just dive into that right now. Until next time, my faithful followers, I've been Andrew Durnan. This has been the brilliant Danny Gravel. What? I know you'll say Gravel. I like the Gravel. It's very Scottish. I like the
Gravel too.
What? Just like that's what we'll do. Hashtag Mourn the Gravel.
That's it.
Yeah. Until next time, take care. Stay safe.
Care. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. This is That Mental Ginger Show. Signing us off tonight is the amazing Danny Gravel with his song Tightrope to the Sun. Danny, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you very much, Andrew. It's been a pleasure. Something John F. Kennedy said about what we should dread. Secret society's come to rule. Freedom's got a life. They have poison our grocery needs. Monsanto and the toxic seeds. Tell me how life has become a terrible to the soul. A tightrope to the sun. We're walking a tightrope to the sun. To the sun. Speak against your heretics still. Protest and they will kill. Rising up to take over the tower. Glory losing wealth and power. They have poisoned our precious mind. It's a war against mankind. Tell me how life has become terrible to the soul. Tightrope to the sun. We're walking a tightrope to the sun. All right. Worship the Lord, now it's what we can't afford. We've been programmed to do this way, enslaved forever and a day. They have poisoned our hearts to hate, now we must follow our fate. Tell me how life has become a tightrope to the sun. Tightrope to the sun. We're walking a tightrope to the sun. We're walking Tightrope to the sun, to the sun.